Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne, and welcome to your first half of the month of October Love Connection Tarot Oracle Divination reading and messages. Wow, here we are. And I'm actually reading these, or I should say videotaping these, at the last 4 or 5 days of September, so I can get them all up hopefully within the first 2 days. It depends on how long it takes to upload, but my intention is there, and it's all about love and sharing, and we're in Libra season, and that's a huge emphasis for all signs in regards to certainly relationships, to balance, boundaries. We entered into Libra on September 22nd. We entered into the beautiful new season of fall, which is absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I'm not seeing in the Northern Hemisphere all the changing of the leaves just yet, but it's coming. And it's also that time of recognition, you know, the balance of equal amounts of light and dark, you know, versus way more light in the summer and of course way more dark in the winter. So we're in that medium, you know, balanced scale, which represents Libra time of year. It's a calmer time, and it's more of a earthly sensual time, I would say. And of course, right smack in the dab in the middle of all of it, we are in Libra retrograde Mercury season. Because I say that it's Mercury retrograde, it actually turned retrograde on the 27th. And it'll be in retrograde through October 18th, which is then after the shadow period, as we have it on both sides. So there's a fair amount of time during the year we have retrogrades, and pretty much everyone's really getting to know about them on this planet. Not everybody, but a huge more amount of people when I speak about it. And so I like the fact that it becomes more familiar because we can prepare. And we can recognize that, oh, okay, I just thought I was going crazy, or my technology is going on the fritz. What's happening? It's new. How could it be not working? Mercury retrograde. Try not to go out and buy new ones or new things, because, you know, they too could have some faulty aspects to them, or you'll have to go back and do it again, which is fine. You know, that doesn't always upset everybody. Just possible tips out there for you. But getting back to the whole spectrum of things, I am going to be reading, as I always do, for those that are new. I have a definite format. I read for every zodiac sign 2 times a month, beginning and mid-month readings. And I like to call the sign of the day my featured sign, because of the fact that the reading is basically featured around that particular sign. Today's featured sign is the bold, courageous, sun-ruled, egoic, you know, proud, strong, creative, and passionate sign of Leo. So, hi Leos. Now, in Libra season, it's actually really good for you. The air element is extremely conducive to your energy and your ability to create and motivate and, you know, keep that going. It's a beautiful harmonizing energy, which I love. Fire and air, absolutely. And that would stand for also Libra, Gemini, and Aquarium. So a lot of times Leos, I see them in those combinations many times. And in friendships, all different types of love, I always like to bring up love connections are far more than just romantic, but it's absolutely part of the whole deal. It's love of all types, relationships of all types. Once again, very much in focus during the Libra season for all signs. So Leo, let's see who your highlighted connection is for the first half of October. This is the spiritly guided relationship or connection that's really important to be brought up for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm the messenger. I am the conduit for the spiritual messages coming through. I do read intuitively. And with this highlighted connection, it could be that energy that you're feeling. It could be a person that you're very familiar with and you're very clear on what it is for a certain percentage. And then for a lot of you, it's someone that may be coming through and that's new to you. And to, you know, stay tuned, as it were. So then I read 4 major categories for the highlighted connection, but also for every single one of your love connections, Leo. And I'm hoping that self-love is a very important, prominent part of the reason that people watch my readings, because that is essential. And love is incredibly powerful and healing and a beautiful energy that I think has reign over all other emotions and energies. I just do. I think it's the most important powerful energy that we could possibly possess, give, and receive. So let's find out who your highlighted connection is, Leo, for the first half of October. Right on the cusp there. It's between Libra and Virgo. We're going to try one more time. I actually just read the featured sign of Cancer, and the highlighted for Cancer was Virgo. So one more time. Taking a deep breath. You have Capricorn. I've seen this before for you. It seems like it became a little more evident to me in the last few months of this year, 2021. Whereas there was so much prominence. Is that a word? Because, you know, with Mercury retrograde, I make things up a lot of times, but what I mean to say is it was a prominent energy last year with Jupiter in Capricorn, then Saturn was in Capricorn, and then from years and years prior, majority of energy was earth signs in general. I see many connections with the fire and the earth, and it's not as easy an energy by any means as it is with air, but it seems to really work because you are a very, very spirited, you know, action-oriented, physical, emotional leader, performer, if you will. You many talents, but also wanting to be center stage, wanting to be seen, wanting to be recognized, wanting to do your best with everything you have, which is where the passion comes through. And I always say, like with emotion, got to have passion in whatever you do. You just have to have that. That's really what brings it to the forefront and what makes it the mastery, I would say. So it's interesting because the success aspect of Capricorn is equally as energetic and as spirited as you are as an earth sign. So, you know, just done in a different way, more reserved, more patient, more, you know, they say grounded, you know, that friend that in a crisis or a hard time, they're going to be your anchor. They're going to be there for you. They're going to be level-headed, and they're going to think about things, and they're going to, you know, be very, I would say, routine, if you will, not as spontaneous perhaps as you like to be, right, Leo? And definitely capable of very hard work and very, very successful endeavors. Very smart about money. They represent the goat, the symbol of the goat, which is, you know, they can reach the highest mountains and crags and they have no issue whatsoever. All they know is they're going to get to the other side. That's their motto. That's their, you know, MO. And that's beautiful because that's the kind of people you want to hang out with. And then it's a long-term kind of stability. It's not just let's take a chance on this and let's risk this, which is not something unheard of for Leos either. But I think as time goes on and the different phases go on, and last year happened, we're going to be a little more sensible, okay? And there's going to be more balance, which is essential during Libra season. When it's retrograde, which is going to be predominantly the whole Libra season this year, it definitely is introspective. It's like really focusing on things you need to understand and change and purge and accept and face and have that strength that you showed all of us, Leo. So I like this a lot. And the cardinal aspect, which is also what Libra is, of the cardinal is a doer and a starter and an initiator. And that's exciting to you too. Okay, so the combination is beautiful. I'm feeling good feelings about this. If you don't have this particular Capricorn connection in mind, like I said, don't give up on it. It could be somebody coming in. Retrogrades tend to bring people back. And that would be the 22nd of December through the 22nd of January. So just keep that in mind. It could be a family member, a really good friend, a work partnership, all sorts of, in addition to, of course, love. Because they all work. They really do. And of course it takes work. All relationships takes work. But this one, once you get in the groove and you got the love language going properly, it's a good one. And it lasts, like I said. And that's an important thing, I think, to more people, whether they want to admit it or not. You want that stability in all relationships. I am going to read the 4 major categories for you. I'm loving this new deck. At first I was hesitant and I wasn't aware of exactly, it was hard to decipher because it didn't have a book and a booklet that showed me the pictures to coincide with the illustrations in the card. So the swords and the wands were a little bit harder for me to differentiate. However, I'm getting it. It's feeling good. The deck is absolutely beautiful. It's the Hush Tarot. It's kind of that, I would say, internal quiet aspect, that part of fall, the earth that meets with the animal kingdom is what it's about. Beautiful pictures. It's just, I love it. I hope you do as well. The colors are a little muted and they're a little more subtle and earthly. Like, you know, well, we just got out of Virgo season before Libra, so that's still kind of resonating a bit, I would say. But lots of information coming through for all of us in the month of October, let me tell you. And it changes quite a bit from the beginning of the month to the end because we have a lot of the outer planets that have been retrograde for a few months all going forward. So the strength is coming back for all of us, the momentum. Once we've, you know, worked through the retrograde and been patient and relaxed and review things and try not to go fast forward in a situation like climbing upstream when it's not necessarily the appropriate time would be highly suggested now, I think, for everybody. So just double check things, you know, be open to changes and you'll be fine. It's not your first rodeo, right? We've been through this before. So I think I've shuffled these enough because honestly, the last two readings, they were almost identical and I was sitting shuffling the whole time I was talking. And it kind of surprised the heck out of me. But we'll see what's happening for you, beautiful Leo. Passionate, beautiful, beautiful Leo. So we have, and you're a fixed sign. You're pretty set in your ways, but I think well, not Capricorn, but certainly Taurus. You know, you have a determination and you want to stick with it, but I feel like a lot of that's changing even for the fixed signs. I'm being honest. It's very clear to me. There's new information. There's new opportunities with a bunch of the air element, which is the mind, thoughts, integrating, you know, cooperation, coordination, certainly during Libra season, you know, compromise, just a lot of different perspectives and point of views are coming through for every sign. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to be able to change and evolve, I think, in our lifetimes. So your overall energy is the first category, leading you to the reading. And I have not picked this before, and I'm excited about that because, like I said, there were some repeats that were thinking, you have the Six of Swords. Now, this is a beautiful depiction of this. This is different than the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, for sure. But the Six of Swords is about moving away from more difficult times, more difficult feelings and conversations, and just kind of a Mercury retrograde where it's just like, it's not, people aren't hearing me. I'm not being heard. I'm not understanding what you're saying. And double checking, like I said, everything, because that's good. Mercury is the ruling planet of Mercury retrograde, right? The fastest planet. It affects our mind and the way we think and how we communicate and you know, and decipher our communications. Certainly transportation is involved, technology of all sorts. It's about moving away from the confusion that's happened in many respects in the past year onto smoother waters. There's the boat. You know, you might be wanting to take a trip by boat. I mean, it's silly, but it absolutely could mean that. You could have a beautiful cruise in mind because now we can do that. You might also just recognize that, you know, in the normal Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, it does represent, there's always a guide in the boat, which could be our own inner guide. Certainly, the veil is thinner in October through, you know, the end of the month of Halloween. Scorpio then becomes the season after Libra. The depth, the Pluto influence of Scorpio, the transformation that's necessary and will occur, whether we like it or not sometimes, right? The Uranian energy in Jupiter and Saturn, which is ruled by, you know, which is the ruler of Aquarius. The surprises, the unexpected, the breaking free, you know, the removing once again of unneeded conditions, people, circumstances, feelings, emotions, relationships. Moving to smoother waters. It's time. You've been ready. You know, it hasn't been amazingly great in some ways in these respects, in your thoughts, how you think. I know a lot of us have suffered loss and then there's been some emotional emotional healing and grieving that we all have to go through in a lifetime. And it's changing. You're moving towards an easier time. I love that for you. And I think it's something you've been hoping for. I think it's something you've been waiting upon, and it's happening even with a retrograde. And you know, this retrograde's a little different because it has some powerful conjunctions with Mars, which happens to be in Libra as well. Not always comfortable in Libra. Libra's a little more, you know, softer and a little more indecisive. It's normally the ruling planet of Aries and was the ruling planet of Scorpio more historically. So I still say it is. Pluto more modernly for Scorpio. But the point is that, you know, it's just, there's aggression and strength and power that's going to be really kind of surprising, you know, for a lot of people coming out and in the streets and just like truth and revealing of truth and just justice. And it's time, you know, and it's not necessarily going to be mellow all the time, and that would make sense, but it's to find the best outcome for all involved. It's to you know, to fight for our rights, sort of feeling. Okay, so that's definitely there. And yeah, to move away from the parts of your life that just aren't making sense or have not been fair, you know, and just it's time. So moving on to the second category, just feeling that emphasis to speak about that. It's very coming through very strongly for you, Leo. And you're not one to hold, you know, stand on your laurels. You definitely like to speak up and feel, and you know, have got fiery energy in you as well. However, the second category is the possible blessings or obstacles. And as I always say, the tarot and the messages are always kind of a storyline, you know, one feeds off the other and becomes this beautiful narrative of our lives. Our journey in life is the whole tarot, you know, aspect and knowledge. Second category, interesting. We go from the swords to the wands, and I know the difference now. Woohoo! And you have the Knight of Wands, and I'll tell you what that is. That's you. That's your energy. That's Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. That's fiery. That's passion. That is information and messages coming through, and they're swift and they're quick, and you may not see it coming. You know, I mean, that can happen, right? Retrogrades bring back circumstances that were not handled or healed, or however you want to say it, and we're still feeling the energy of the full moon in Pisces, which was, I want to say, the 20th of September. I mean, that was an amazingly healing energy, and extremely creative, and extremely passionate, and extremely loving, and extremely intuitive and psychic. And that's still with you, and it's still really waking you up to your incredible power and manifestational abilities. So whatever it is you're striving to do or imagining doing is absolutely a possibility for you. And you'll have the messages coming through to reinforce that. Okay, Leo? So that's really beautiful. I would say it's a blessing. Hopefully it's one you want to hear and in the form, but if not, trust me, if it doesn't feel right at first, you may be very pleasantly surprised how that's the right way to go. That's the different perspective, as I said. Maybe you hadn't thought of it, but my gosh, what a wonderful concept, right? That's how I'm feeling about that. Really gorgeous. Really powerful. So then we move on to the category of the finances happening. And remember, we do have the influence of Capricorn. Capricorn is extremely resourceful and usually amass great amounts of money, as do you, but I almost want to say that Capricorn could really be extremely instrumental in something having to do with your finances. However, it could be other people too. You know, there's a wide world out there. So, and I know you have a lot of connections, and so it doesn't have to just be the influence of Capricorn. But if it is, it could certainly all come together and really start to present itself, and, you know, the fruits of your labor, if you will really be in full force, certainly by Capricorn season. Latter part of December. Christmas gift. New Year's gift. So, what do we have for you, beautiful Leo, and all your love connections? And, okay, the Two of Swords. Interesting. Beautiful, beautiful depiction. And look at these kittens. Oh my gosh, there's something about animals. And of course there is. There was that was presented. I've heard about it. I've read about it. This month could definitely see you adopting an animal of some sort. And you may have a choice. And it's like it comes to you almost. And it's just out of the blue. And I know a lot of Leos that love animals, you know, and certainly cats as a feline yourself. But dogs and, you know, just, this is the beautiful deck of animals and humans, you know, cohabitating, which we do. And we need to have that respect and that understanding, and how they too are spirits that guide us and protect us and are, you know, they're our soulmates, right? But you have the Two of Swords, so it is a crossroads or a decision to be made. And you're in your mind about it right now. You're in your mind. You have time, and I think it's a great time to really sit with it and make the decision, because the thing about the Two of Swords is when you take one away, you have the one, which is the Ace, okay? The right choice, the right decision, the truth, the strength, the courage, the ability to speak about it, stand strong, cut out any, you know, as I always say, BS that might interfere with your decision, or, you know, any, what is it? Comments from the peanut gallery. That's coming to mind. I don't know. Thank you, Spirit. I don't generally use that expression. Either one will work. And right now, you're just not 100% sure. So you're going to give it some, it could be two opportunities coming to you. There's this beautiful, fast energy about opportunity and you know, in inspiration about a particular new venture. You know, that just opens your world up and changes your life, and you know, and it's just so exciting, and it's passionate. And then here we have in the finance department, two opportunities to maybe a side gig that can help you with your finances, you know, and help you to go towards that dream vacation home or vacation in general, which I would say the Six of Swords also is definitely representing. If you have not gone on vacation, it's still a beautiful time to do so. My gosh, you know, September, October, even November have some wonderful weather in most places in Northern Hemisphere, and it's starting to become spring in the South. So, and it just feels right. It feels more comfortable and relaxed, certainly after the retrograde. So yeah, positivity, you know, but it's all about how you communicate, how you're coming across. So you want to make it very clearly and very sure. Let's say you're wanting a second job and you want to put out that energy in that resume. You want to double check it and then check it again, because you don't want any errors. You want it to present you. You know how you are. You know how much you represent the ego aspect of all of us, which is the sun, which is what rules you, which is the power and the energy of this brightest star in the galaxy, for Pete's sakes. You want to shine as brightly as possible. And that's going to take a little bit of doing and a little bit of, you know, checking and detail and all that sort of thing, which you're good at. So yeah, possible something with two, though, you know, maybe a partnership. You're not sure if it's 100%. Could be either the, you know, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. It has to do with that. And relationships are key, like I said. So I'm really feeling that now. But I feel like it's going to be in your favor. So just sit and let it go. And then by the new moon on the 6th of Libra, it's all forward, okay? Those intentions can really, really bring forth things extremely quickly. And that's very conducive to that message. And that just came through as well. So, yeah. Keep notes, all right? Very important, beautiful, beautiful reading so far. Your final message is under the category of surprises and wishes. So, there's sure to be some surprises. I want to believe they're going to be absolutely positive. I can't say. But if you've been wishing for that, I believe they will happen, because that's how I think. And that's how I choose to create my energy towards my viewers. That is my belief system from many years back. You know, if you believe it enough and you feel that enough, you will have that. You will achieve that. It's just that simple. If you doubt it, you will slow down the process and you will put that out there, and that's what will come back, bottom line, okay? So let's see what we have to say with this beautiful last category, one of my favorites. I added it last month or so. There's surprises and wishes. And what you have is, yeah, the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, and this is mastery. This is mastery. This is the earth element. It is the practical side of life, our grounded energy. It's the Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo's influences. You know, maybe you're very in tune and connected with someone of that, you know, element already. But I'm telling you, when it's the 3 or the 8 of Pentacles, it is absolutely doing extremely well, working very hard to get here, obviously. It didn't just happen. You put in so much energy, so much effort, and it's really, really paying off. And that definitely coincides with the finances, where you have a couple of choices, because people are aware of your talents and they want you, and you've got to make a decision sometimes. You'll know what to do, as I said. Either one is a good one. And you'll talk about it, you'll express how you feel, you'll set the parameters and the boundaries necessary for that balance that's essential for any relationships. And it's good stuff. It's really good stuff. It's stable, it's secure, and it's long term. You're planting seeds for longevity. It's not a fly-by-night situation whatsoever. And your wishes are coming true. I would say that was a definite yes, whatever that may be for you. So it looks as though the first half of the month is going to be very, very filled with easier times, definitely fired up kind of messages and energy, and quick moving energy with your fellow, you know, fire energy coming through of the Knight or another Leo. You've got the air and the planet. You've got every single element here, which is a beautiful balance right off the bat. Not one reading has had that, so I absolutely love that for you. And I'm sure it wasn't like that all year, so take it in and embrace it and use that incredible passion, because you can make pretty much anything occur in your life. And that's how I'm feeling about that. So I'm going to finish with your oracle messages, and I picked the beautiful Starseed Oracle for this first half of October, one of my favorite oracle decks. I definitely want to get more. I'm going to ask Santa as well. Oracles are the, you know, the consciousness that we all have and that we're all a part of. And they just bring out this incredible wisdom and love, and they send us inspiration and the confidence and understanding. And we are capable. We are manifestors. We are star seeds. We're all in this together. We're all connected. We are light, and we are spirits and souls, and we are eternal. So what does your beautiful message have to say, Leo, for the first half of the month? Your specific message is the blue flame, spontaneous awakening. Ooh, gosh. Activation, integration time. That is so powerful. That brings to mind this. It definitely brings to mind this. And it's just like, I don't know, you have it all. You've got this all. The blue flame is notoriously known as one of the most higher energies. And it's a crown, but it's also third eye. It's a knowing. It's divinely given to us when we want to receive it. We have to want to receive it. And it's certainly, you know, the co-creation between source and yourself. So let me read to you specifics about it. I think that says a great deal. Spontaneous awakening. Wow. That's an expression I haven't heard for a while. I remember reading about that. It doesn't happen to some people in a lifetime, but sometimes when you're a sun sign ruled, you know, Leo, there's always the possibilities. Where did it go? Let me double check here for you. Oh, I know what's happened. Forgive me. It gets a little, okay. This is a card of awakening and energetic upgrades. Perhaps you're going through a period of spontaneous awakening, receiving visions and having experiences that are out of the ordinary. In the West, little is known about the process of spontaneous awakening, and it can feel very scary when we're going through it alone. Elsewhere, they can be seen as auspicious experiences, with those going through them being treated with tender care. The blue beings are thought to be activating beings with great potential for healing and upgrading our cellular structures. Oh my gosh. Well, if you've read anything or heard anything about it, I'll make it very, very quick. This is a huge time for the changing of the energies and going into different, the fifth, instead of the 3-dimension, we're heading to the fifth, and it goes up, and it's fast, and it can affect us. It can give us physical, ailments of sorts because we're acclimating to that. But there you go. Excellent. First time I read that for any sign. They appear in moments of extreme awakening, activating a physical Kundalini awakening and deep cellular and DNA healing. Many people glamorize the awakening process. However, in reality, it's much messier and more difficult than most of us believe. We must first let go of what we think we know for sure and how we make sense of the world. That is not easy, not for a fixed sign. And I mentioned that earlier. It's about, this is crazy and beautiful at the same time. It's a time, I told you, when you're actually going to be wanting to change your fixed ideas and your belief systems and so forth. And it came out earlier, and this is so perfect. So yeah, it's the awakening process, even when it's spontaneous, takes a considerable amount of time to integrate. And awakening without integration can leave us feeling very ungrounded. Well, there's another reason you got the grounded sign, because you need to ground yourself. If not around people that are like that, go outside and put your feet in that soil and hug that tree, plant a seed, plant a tree for Pete's sakes, and really get yourself grounded. Oh, I've got goosebumps going all the way up my legs now. I truly do, chicken skin. If you're in the midst of an awakening, the process never ends. Treat this time as deeply sacred and give yourself an ample space to ground and integrate the extreme changes you're going through. Wow. Whew. Well, it says, allow myself to surrender to the awakening process that's right for me. I take things slowly and integrate my experience each and every day. Well, here you have all of the elements, which is so important. It's all part of life. It's all part of what we see, feel, smell, the senses, And then you've got this incredible blue light of the crown chakra and the knowing and the integration of spirit and everything it just said. And it's so incredibly powerful, as are you. So that's just absolutely beautiful. This is a very riveting reading, to say the least, Leo. And I just want to thank you very much for being here. If you like what you're seeing and you're resonating, please push the subscribe and like buttons and share, because it really helps the channel. And that's basically all I'm going to say about it. I really appreciate it. I want to grow my channel. I want to do only readings at some point. And it takes time. It's a process. It's an integration, right? I never give up. I just want to share with you ways to help. That would be free and very, very heart-centered type of help for me. But either way, I love that you're here. So in passing and closing, I should say, your final category, and I should say deck, is the Super Attractor Manifestation deck. This is where we manifest with every bit of our being and the passion and the feeling and the emotion, the life we want. Okay? And I mean, we do it all the time. Might as well have purpose and intention behind it, right? And that's what we want for that new moon in Libra too coming up. You always want to write your intentions out. Your beautiful message says, when I introduce joy to a situation, I change the vibrational frequency. Well, there you are again with the vibration and the frequency and how we are really existing. We're all energy of what's happening around me. I change the vibrational frequency of what's happening around me. It starts from within, and it absolutely happens. It ripples out, and there's no getting around that. It's just an absolute reality in this 3D / almost 5 and moving, reality. Look at that card. Isn't that gorgeous? There's the new moon I'm speaking of. Coming up. Putting all of this in one very strong intention, or several, and watching them, come into reality and materialize right in front of your face. It's so beautiful. Well, I love this, and I really appreciate you once again for being here. It means a lot, but I love the reading, so I hope that you're feeling this. I hope you feel it right away, but if not, give it some time. I also recommend that everybody, watch their moon, rising, and Venus signs and placements, I should say, because they can resonate more, and it's all just all a part of you. You're so much more than just the sun, but I love the sun because it is your first house and it is ruled by the sun, and it's all about just your power. So anyway, in closing, thank you so much. Take good care. Until next time, bye for now.